Man, this guy is fallen up the stairs of Air Force One multiple times. Now you have seen another president besides Joe Biden who had dementia. So I want to bring that up in Ronald Reagan. First term, I heard he was amazing. Second term, I heard was run by Nancy. And we've had other presidents before in history where they say the wife really controlled everything for one reason or another, but maybe they became incapacitated or demented and they were not able to run things properly. And we don't even know right now, even if Joe Biden was 100% all the way across the board, we still don't know if he's even running anything anyways, because there are the powers that be that push and prod the president and push him in their direction. But, excuse me, I was just a baby in the Reagan years, and you lived through Reagan. Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like first term and then second term? I mean, you were coming out of the Jimmy Carter years, really bad inflation, which has only been matched by Joe Biden recently. But again, first term Ronald Reagan, second term Ronald Reagan. What do you remember?
It was second term, maybe, I'm sure he did have dementia, but it wasn't nearly like Joe Biden. I mean, not even close. I mean, there was you had to chalk it up with his age. There's kind of things that he'd forget or he would do. But he could have hit it from 80% of the people, and that's being conservative. Probably more than 90% of the people he would have never knew he had dementia. But Biden, 100% of people know there's something wrong with him.
Well, we heard about Nancy Reagan running. The rumors are Nancy ran the second half,
term,
the second term. A lot of Reagan's and some of those policies were not so great towards the end of it. You hear a lot of people say Hillary was the one that ran the presidency instead of Bill. They said it was Hillary behind it all. Excuse me. So, and then now we're here. I can tell you it is not Joe Biden's wife. I don't think she's got anything to do with anything other than changing his diapers. I really don't think she's got any control of anything, but I don't think he does either. This man is just, he's out there, man. He's not healthy. I don't know. I honestly don't know if he is fit for office. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats put forth this bill. A lot of people thought it was going to be for Trump, saying he was unfit to serve mentally. And of course, you had a bunch of people out who they were doing it based on ideology and saying, oh, if Trump believes this sort of stuff, then he's crazy. He's not fit for office. It wasn't that he wasn't of sound mind. It was about his ideology. And you just had a bunch of people who opposed his ideology. But this is different. This isn't ideology. This isn't collectivism versus individualism. This isn't communism versus capitalism or anything. This is someone's serious mental health and physical health at this point. He's 79 years old, and you mentioned that article. I'm going to pull it up right here. This one is from Reuters. So, I mean, I still think Reuters is biased to some degree, but almost as down the middle as you're going to get. Biden had skin cancer removed. Doctor says no more treatment needed. So that's good, good to hear. No more treatment needed. We'll read a little bit of this article. U.S. President Joe Biden speaks to the... Oh, that's the caption for the picture. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Biden had a skin lesion removed from his chest in February. So they're telling us now this happened last month. It was a basal cell carcinoma, a common form of skin cancer. Again, he's 79 years old. Not too crazy for that to come up. They said it was removed. No further treatment was needed, according to Kevin O'Connor, the White House physician. All cancerous tissue was successfully removed, they said, adding that Biden will continue dermatologic surveillance as part of his ongoing health care, but the site had healed last month. Doctors declared Biden I said he was 79. He's actually 80. They declared him healthy and fit for duty after a physical examination. Did they do a mental examination? They said at the time the small lesion had been removed from his chest and sent for a biopsy. It's a type of carcinoma lesions that they don't spread or metastasize, so it's about as good as you can get. Of course, his health is in close scrutiny as he prepares for an expected run for a second presidential term of 2024.
I have a question. I would like to know how many times a day they have to remind him that he's president of the United States.
I mean, I really want to know if he's wearing diapers or not. I know that sounds silly and juvenile, right? And it sounds ridiculous, but I really, the man has had 2 brain surgeries. He's had an aneurysm, right?
Right.
I don't know. And then you got this whole thing with China. You've had the pandemic, so to speak. You've have Ukraine and Russia. I've done plenty about that. Look up in some of my further videos about Ukraine being a puppet state, and they're using it as a proxy war. We've talked about that. But you have all of this. We know the Biden family has been very involved with Ukraine through one form or another. And I don't know. Did you hear him talk about the nurse? It says, that got weird. Joe Biden trolled for his gushing about ICU nurse who breathed on him to check for a human connection. So Joe Biden's talking about a military nurse, and he's leaving out a lot of context. He was never in the military, but they think he's talking about a time when he went to Walter Reed. There was a military nurse who seen about him there, named Pearl Nelson, he says. And, excuse me, he was, I think it was for the aneurysm. And he starts talking like he's writing a story to Playboy or something. You know what I mean? Like, he says things that the nurse did stuff she didn't learn in nursing school. And this is a 80-year-old man. This is the president of the United States talking like this, and he talks about her breathing on him. And let's see if we can get this to play.
And I had a nurse named Pearl Nelson, military. She'd come in and do things that I don't think you learn in medical school, nursing school. She'd whisper in my ear. I couldn't understand her. She'd whisper, she'd lean down. She'd actually breathe on me to make sure that there was a connection, a human connection. She even went home and brought back her pillow from her own bed because she knew the one I had that wasn't comfortable. But I'm not joking.
So every time he says, I'm not joking, he's pretty much lying. Like, that's like a tell that he's lying. So this story might not even be true.